Hey guys, it's been a long time since I've done a video, and disregard my voice. I've been having strep issues. My daughter's been having strep constantly, and the antibiotics haven't kicked it. And so far, I hadn't gotten it, but I finally got it. Poor kid. They actually are having to do shots of antibiotics now to try and get the strep to stop coming back for her. This other stuff isn't working. So bear with me. I've got my Theraflu. Unfortunately, I was out of the daytime Theraflu, so this is the nighttime Theraflu. So I might be fun later, or not really there. And so a few things that have happened that I wanted to talk about. Um, just to kind of let people know where I'm at or why I'm spending my energy the way that I am spending my energy. And first, I feel like I'm in a much better mindset. I'm much more present with my family, much more healthy for myself. And it's really difficult when you get so passionate about a cause where it almost becomes like an obsession, right? Where you hyper focus on it, and then you might, neglect the things that are important in your real world. And so for me, I feel like that was truly happening. um it was hard because, I think after the halts we were like, okay, if we give this our all, then we can resolve it quickly. And which is silly of me because, like, my whole family is military, and there's this saying, it's like hurry up and wait, right? Because nothing in government happens fast, like, ever. It just doesn't. And so now here we are, and we're starting to see people get fatigued. And and I've been there too. I mean, because I was just giving so much effort, and everyone's efforts are appreciated, and we want you guys to continue to do what you can. Um, but it's very important, and this is coming from a hypocrite who learned this the hard way. It's very important to do self care, right? To make sure that you're filling up your cup so that you can give to your cause, and you can also be present in your real world and the things that are important to you, because you don't want to harm those things going after our cause, market fairness. So this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. Many hands makes light work, right? And a rising tide lifts all ships. I love cute sayings, and those are great sayings, and they're true. They're totally true. And I also, besides cute sayings, and yes, I'm going to call them cute, I also like historical context, right? And I'm not great with dates. I just really love history. It's fun for me. I think there's a lot that we can learn from those who have come before us and the struggles that they have had. In fact, I don't know if you can see it because it's dark. I don't know. See, it's got kind of jacked up in the move. But here's my Gettysburg mug. I love Gettysburg. It's almost like hallowed ground if you go there. It's a very special place. And so when I say MMTLP is like a Gettysburg event, I mean it. I truly mean it. When we talk about this war that we're in, because it is a revolution. This is warfare on a different level, right? It's like the battleground is shifting, right? We've got more electronic stuff happening. This is like a fiscal revolution that we're fighting for. And we have multiple people who are in the same fight with us, the same war, and but we've been like dispersed on different battlegrounds, right? And so, you'll have your AMC, your GME, and I've said it's like tribal, right? And MMTLP, I call it the Gettysburg event because it's significant, right? It's very significant. So this may be a turning point if we can get our resolution. That being said, many hands makes light work, right? So if we can get more warriors to help us, that behooves us, and it lifts us up and gives us the ability to be heard. In the more constituents putting pressure on politicians, the better. And so I'm really focusing my efforts on this unity campaign. And I know it's very difficult because there's a lot of people that are afraid that if we are to unify with other communities that we're going to lose our identity. So another historical example I'm going to use is, and you guys may have heard me say this before, it's a Continental Congress, right? So the Continental Congress was formed up of representation from different states. Well, they weren't states yet. I mean, I guess they were states. See, this is why I'm like a bad historian. I like the stories, but I tell them poorly. Okay, so they territories, whatever they were, colonies. I don't know. You've got your like Delaware, you've got your Massachusetts, you got your New York, you got your Rhode Island, you've got your southern states, your Virginia, and your Georgia. You've got all these different states that have representation that come together, and they come and they form this Continental Congress. So that doesn't mean that they don't have their states issues that they're going to function and work on in the state level, because that's just like MMTLP, right? So let's say we're a state. You pick the state that you want us to be. I don't know. George Washington was from Virginia. You could be Virginia. I don't care. So let's say you're Virginia, and that's your state, right? And you have specific issues to your state. Great. Work on your state issues within your state. But then we can all come together in this Continental Congress of ticker symbols, and we can focus on the greater tasks. And I'm not saying greater, you know what? That sounds demeaning, because Virginia's issues are big, right? They got some big issues. That's slavery. That was a really big issue, but we won't even go there. Anyways, so you got your own issues that you can work on within the state level, and then at the Continental Congress level, we can work on things such as market fairness. For them, it was we don't have representation, taxation without representation. And fun fact, it's not a fact, fun opinion, if I was in the Revolution time period and I was a man, I think I would be Samuel Adams, because I want to be the one that's throwing the tea into the harbor. And they're the Sons of Liberty, and I dressed up like Liberty, so that's kind of cool. Anyways, I derailed. So, if we could get together with the GTI folks, with the AMC folks, with the CRTD folks, with GNS folks, because heck yeah, Roger Hamilton is awesome, and we've got so many different people like Ham and William Ferrand and all these people from these various communities who bring so much, guys. They bring so much knowledge, and they bring people who are willing to fight. And we're sitting here and we're getting tired, right? Because we've been giving our all. It's 91 days since the halt. That's insane, right? We were we'll get this done, but it looks like it's going to take a little bit longer than we were thinking. But we have to continue our momentum. However, if we have friends who have common goals, and instead of sending out 1,000, 100,000 emails, if we could send out 1 million, and it was not just MMTLP specific, but we're Virginia, right? We're still gonna have our states issues, we're still gonna work on those. But what if we had these grander campaigns where we could be okay, we are going to send information in regards to, let's say one issue. Let's say you wanted to talk about counterfeit shares, or you want to talk about spoofing, or whatever. If they see, hey, I am calling or talking or emailing or whatever in regards to GTII, and I'm seeing spoofing, well, they may see that as a one-off, a one-time scenario. And then if they see it from MMTLP saying, hey, spoofing's a problem, and then they see it from AMC, hey, spoofing's a problem, repetition will help them to realize, oh, this is a problem, right? So we plant the seeds, and it may not be the first person who says something, but maybe after the 10th time, who knows how many times, because we're not going away, how many times it will take. And then also, we don't have to feel so alone, because our efforts will be more fruitful. At this point, I feel like maybe people are getting fatigued because they need a win. We need a low-hanging fruit. And I feel like maybe if we can combine, we can get that. And other than that, I mean, I'm trying to think of like historical context, like how could we lift morale, right? Because troop morale is an issue, right? So let's go back to the Civil War. Did you know, fun fact, General Hooker is the reason why hookers are called hookers, because he would get hookers girls and then he would bring them to his troops to try and boost morale. I'm not doing that for you guys. So, I mean, honestly, like, I think the space calls are awesome, but please be mindful of your personal health. Like if you're listening to them and you're doing other stuff that fills up your cup, great. If you're neglecting your family, if you're neglecting your personal hygiene, did you change your underwear today? If you're neglecting those things, then maybe it's time to like reevaluate where you're going to spend your energy, because maybe it's more valuable if you're like, okay, I have a lot of time for the space call and then I have daily tasks. So like Anna has been really great on her space calls about having tasks for you to do each day. And then that way, you know, you've spent your efforts doing what you can for the cause, but then you can be present in your real world and try and fill up your cup. Again, I'm a total hypocrite because you guys have seen me have breakdowns and you guys have seen me act shameful and I'm not my best self, which is every time that happens, because it's happened more than once, there's so much work to try and like regain credibility or to regain the momentum that once was had. So you have to be very, very careful, and you have to be very mindful of, you know, who's listening to what you're saying, who's listening to what you're typing, because we represent Virginia and MTLP. And if you don't like Virginia, pick another state, just fill it in because they had slavery. And so yeah, just be mindful of who you represent, and keep fighting. But remember that you have to take care of yourself, and you have to take care of yourself first, and your families and your loved ones and your real world. Because if you start neglecting those things and you're putting all of your passions into this and you're not seeing fruition right away, you're going to break down. Trust me. If you don't break down, then I need to figure out what you're doing, because I broke down. And I it was not fair to my family, and there's a lot of people who've had to step back a little bit. And the goal is to step back before things get so heavy that you're like, gotta go, right? So if you can step back when you start noticing, just be like, okay, I gotta throttle back a little bit, gotta fill up my cup, and then I'm gonna go get them. I'm gonna tag someone, like, find some friends, find a friend. Maybe this is like a triathlon and you pass the baton, right? Like, okay, I'm a little burnt out. Can you take this for a little bit? We can do that because we're a community and we work together. But if we're like on a grander scale, on our Continental Congress, and we can work with them, imagine what we could get done. And I know my voice sounds so funny. And I'm just so appreciative of all the efforts that not only the MMTLP community, but I mean, we've got so many other communities, the AMC community, Mike the Marine, and the Occupy SEC, and then various YouTubers. But, you know, aside from like the more present, recent things, I mean, we've got people from Occupy in the early 2000s, you know, and then it's beautiful because we've got these people who have been in the fight. We've got Patrick Byrne, we've got Wes Christian, we've got Christina Copeland, we've got Johnny Tobacco, we've got, and I'm sorry, I know I'm missing people, we've got Ham, we've got these people who have lived it, and they're seeing this momentum come back, and this is our opportunity, but we have to make sure that we take full advantage of this opportunity, because this may not happen again in the future, or in the future, it may be so messed up that how do we put the pieces back together? I mean, we don't even know where we're at now. To have an idea of the gravity of the extent of the problem that's at hand would be wonderful. It's kind of like if you go to the doctor, right, and you've got something, you want to know how serious it is, and like what kind of fight you need to bring, and what you're looking at. Like, you want to know because you want to be mentally prepared for the fight that's ahead of you. And so we know we have a fight and we know we're fighting, but like to get discovery, to understand, like not just with what's happening with MMTLP and GTII, but just general market wide, general, just the grand scale of what we're facing. I think that we are owed that. But I understand why the powers that be would want to hide that from us, because holy crap, if we knew, well, maybe we would hold some of those leaders accountable. Speaking of leaders, I'm super frustrated. Mark Rubio's office, like you send them an email and then they send you this super long email back, and you pull it up and you're like, oh, they actually responded. And then you realize that it has nothing to do with what you were trying to talk to them about. And then you post it on Twitter because that's what you do. And then you see that they're like, all the other people from Florida got the same auto-populated email back that like took weeks, like a week to get. So, yeah, that's like not cool, Marco Rubio. Shame on you. And so, anyways, sorry, that's my side tangent. Trying to think if there's anything. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna do a space call tomorrow before Busy and Junk have their upstream space call, which is a really important resource that I think that we should all learn about. So that's mine is at 12 Eastern Standard Time, 12 in the afternoon. And then theirs will be at 1. So mine, I'm hoping that we can get people from various communities, and I will host it this time, but I don't want to host it forever. I don't. I don't want limelight as much as people think I want limelight. I do like people. Like, yeah, I am a little bit of a ham, but my number one priority is to clean shit up. That's what I want more than anything, right? I want to make change. I want to make positive change. I want fair markets, and I want accountability. So I'm derailing my thoughts again. So that space is tomorrow, which I will host. But moving forward, it's very important that it's not spearheaded by somebody that is like super passionate about one ticker. I mean, although I know Heather is in AMC, Heather of Naked Truth. Naked Truth is a nonprofit that represents all market participants. It basically, I mean, it goes further than that because she's also talking about like FTA corruption too. It's basically an anti-corruption educational nonprofit, but she focuses heavily on market manipulation. And if she's going to be running these space calls, I think it would be very beautiful if we could all come in from our various communities to represent our community, to be respectful and to bring forth ideas to create change. And so maybe it's something where, we spend some time, and each ticker symbol goes through, what their community is doing, so that we're kind of aware of what their current taskings are. And then, maybe some of their needs, so that we can help them out, because we all need help. I mean, I know I wish we could do it all by ourselves, but we can't. And everyone's telling us to organize. They're not saying organize within your own ticker. That's not what it's about. I mean, look at John Berta. He's talking to all these other people. Look at CEO Block. They're collaborating with other CEOs. You want strength. Strength is in numbers. And we need to be strong. This is a battle. This is a war for, it's a financial revolution. And revolutions happen when people unite. They happen because we stand together and we say enough is enough. And at this point in time, I think we can all agree enough is enough. So we will continue to work on our individual efforts. And if that's where you want to stay, that's your prerogative. That's your prerogative. Sorry, I'm not. That's your thing, right? You can do that. But for those of us who want to go to a grander scale and you want to work on the macro level to create real change for everyone, I really think this is a beautiful opportunity, and I hope you take advantage of it, and I hope you join us on the space calls. I hope you follow Naked Truth, because we have real resources and we're starting to get this thing rolling, but we can't do it without everyone. Well, not everyone, but I want everyone. Is that bad? I want everyone. I want you guys. Um, we need help. We need to do this together. So please, 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 please. And now I'm rambling, and I am going to drink my nighttime Theraflu and maybe go into a lunchtime coma. Peace out, y'all.